Brahma Gururvishnu Gururdevo Maheshwarah Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Om. Okay, we shall start the second chapter of Mulavidya Nirasa. In this second chapter, first chapter we discussed, now the second begins. ಇದೇನು ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾವ ವಾರ? 24, 22, 23, 24 మూలవిద్య నిరాస కదా. అవును, వేదాంత పరిభాష అಲ್ಲ. 23 ಅಲ್ಲ, ಮೂಲವಿದ್ಯ ನಿರಾಸೆ. ಹೌದು. ಪರಮಾರ್ಥ ಸತ್ತ ನಿರುಕ್ತೇರ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತ ವೇದಾಂತ ಪ್ರತಿಪಾದ್ಯ ನಿಷ್ಪ್ರಪಂಚಾತ್ಮ ವಿಷಯ. See, Vedanta, now I am starting the second chapter. What Vedanta reveals is Brahman. What Vedanta explains or reveals is Brahman. Vedanta Pratipadyam Nishprapancha Atma. Atma means oneself, is free from all the world of duality. Because we are suffering from the duality. Duality means I becoming an individual and there being the world other than me. If there is a world other than me, what is the problem? The duality is the problem, is a samsara. That's why Nishprapancham is to be taught, because the prapancham is the samsara. Dvaita prapancham is the samsara. How I being an individual, I become limited. I become subjected to birth and death and so on. Then there being a world other than me, I am bound by the world. I have to adjust to the world. I have to follow the world. I can't be as I like. I can't be free as I like. Because the world limits me, controls me, sets rules for me, I am bound to follow. That means it restricts my freedom. It restricts my freedom and doesn't allow me to be to be free. Therefore, there being something, anything second one, restricts my freedom and puts a condition on me, puts rules upon me, and I am supposed to follow. So the second, that is the world, controls me and binds me. And I being limited, I become a part of the world, then I am bound. Therefore, this duality, me and the rest of the world, this sense of duality is called Dvaita Prapancha. The world of duality. This world of duality brings about samsara. Because the samsara is world of duality. Therefore, what we need is to become free from this duality so that I don't suffer from that samsara. And this is what exactly Vedanta teaches, that you are by your real nature, in your real nature, free from prapancha. Okay, this is what Vedanta teaches, that you are ever free from the prapancha. This was stated in the beginning. Okay? Right in the beginning means in the first paragraph of the first chapter. It was told how Paramatma is, how Atma is free from samsara. Okay. Now a common man, oh my God, just a minute. My pen is, here is another one. Today there are always Vignas only. Anything I touch is creating a problem today. Terrible cold, Agnodi. The drilling noise is happening in my ears only. I am unable to hear. See, there is a house building going on. More than a year, they are going on every day making noise. And terrible cold wind is blowing. I close my doors, still I am feeling cold. Impossible to sit in my room. So, in the first, then next, a common man, that is Jignasu. Jignasu told, no, it is very difficult. Because we find experiences like waking, dream and deep sleep. In all our experiences like waking and dream and deep sleep, we are bound to be stuck with the world, Dvaita Prapancha. That means we are in the world, we are never free from the duality, whether in waking or dream or deep sleep. Therefore, it is impossible, by examining the three states alone, it is impossible to come out of duality. It is impossible to discover that I am free from duality. Because I am all the time bound by duality, whether in waking, dream or deep sleep. All the time I am bound by duality only. Therefore, a Jignasu common man says, examining the three states is not at all enough. It doesn't serve the purpose because it doesn't help me to understand I am free from duality. Because in waking there is a duality, in dream there is duality, in deep sleep also there is one. All the time we are only bound. This is common man's, this was already discussed long before. I am just revising because the text is revising. This was a common man's objection that the examination of three states doesn't serve any purpose. Then among the Vedantins, Vedanta Ekadeshi is called a Mulavidyavadi. A Mulavidyavadi means a Mulavidya is a technical word which implies a certain teaching which slightly deviates from Shankara's teaching. Okay? So, Swamiji represents, we take Shankaracharya's teaching, and there is a slightly deviation from Shankara's teaching. They are also followers, but a little deviation. Okay, it is an internal problem. It is not really any Purapaksha, real Purapaksha. Okay, Siddhanta Ekadeshi Yanam. So they are also Siddhantis only, our people only, but in Siddhanta they are Ekadeshi. Sorry, able to hear? My mic has fallen down. Okay, Siddhanta Ekadeshi. Therefore, among the Vedantins, there is an Ekadeshi, Siddhanta, a section of Vedantins. Okay? And they replied to common man's objection. They told, yes, it is true that the world, duality is there in waking state. World is real, waking world is real. In dream, there is a what you call an imaginary world. It is not real, but still there is an imaginary world. And deep sleep also, the world exists in its seed form. In its seed form, so the world doesn't go away just by going to sleep. Therefore, in the seed form, world exists. Therefore, world exists in some form or other. See, who is he? He is a Vedantin. One section of Vedantin admits common man's view. Instead of explaining to him, you see how he conquers common man's view. Okay? He conquers common man's view, but doesn't explain. And you see how he says, yes, what you say is true. What is that? The world is there. The world is there in waking, world is there in dream, and world is there in the seed of the world is there in deep sleep. Therefore, world is there in all the three states. This is what, then how do you solve the Dvaita Prapancha? How do you solve the world of duality? And there we have already discussed in the beginning of the first chapter The Vedanta Ekadeshi, that is a section of Vedantins, or in other words, Mulavidya Vadin, told that yes, by examining the three states, you won't understand that you are free from the world. You won't, because there is no way of knowing that you Abba. Sorry. Just a minute. So, the world exists, sorry, the world, I had some problem. So, the world exists all the time in all the three states. So, in waking it is there, obviously. In dream there is an imaginary world, but in deep sleep there is a seed of the world. So world is there in some or other form in all the three states. Then how do you know that you are free from the world? No, you would not know by going through three states. Who says that? A section of Vedantins Mulavidya Vadin says, you would not know that you are free from the world by going through the three states, neither by going through the three states, nor by examining the three states. You would not know that you are free from the world. Then how will you know? You would know when Shruti teaches. It is the Upanishadic statement that teaches that you are Brahman and not the world. You are not a Jiva bound by the world. By the Shruti's teaching, you come to understand that you are free from the world. That's all. There is no other way. Neither by living the three states, neither by going through the three states, nor by examining the three states. You understand that you are free from the world. But only by the teaching of Upanishads, you come to know you are free from the world. Okay? This is what their explanation. Siddhanta Ekadeshiyanam Samadhanam Pradarshitam. Now, Anayoscha Shanka Samadhanayoho. The doubt of a common man, and the answer, reply of Mulavidya Vadins. These two we have to examine. Whether his doubt is correct, whether the answer of Mulavidya Vadin, the reply of Mulavidya Vadins, are they correct? Sarasara Nirdharanartham. To determine how far, how valid, how correct is the reply of Mulavidya Vadin. We have to examine now. Okay. Tattva Nirdharanartham cha. Then first you have to examine the reply of Mulavidya Vadin. Then come to understand the right way of understanding the truth. Okay. How to become free from the duality and understand oneself to be free from samsara. So, Grantharambaha Ityuktam Purvasmin Kande. Only for this purpose this book has started. That means we started this book only to teach this. Okay, common man's 3 points here. Common man's understanding of himself. And Mulavidyavadin's attempt to explain him how to be free from samsara. Then examining these two, both the common man's question and Mulavidyavadin's reply. Then the third one is, what is the right one? What is the right one according to Vedanta, according to Shankaracharya? These three are my main things throughout the book. So to examine, show how Mulavidyavadin errs, and what area Mulavidyavadin errs, and what is the right one. Only to teach this book has started. Okay, now the first start. Tatra ekiya pakshe. In view of this Mulavidyavadi, parikshamane sarvanyaya viroditvat anekada tatra doshaha lakshante. When we examine the view of Mulavidya, the doctrine of Mulavidya prakriya, if you examine his prakriya, there are found many mistakes, many defects, many unacceptable ideas, illogical ideas are found to be present in his view. Tan kramasho darshayishyamah. We shall show them one by one. Prathamam tavat. First mistake. The first mistake, the foremost first mistake of this Mulavidyavadin, the advocate of Mulavidya, is that there is no paramarthya sattayaha asiddhir vyakti kriyate. Paramarthika satta means the absolute reality. Where is this? View of these things, defects. Okay, first the foremost defect in their view is that it was not possible for them to show what is Paramarthika Satta. This is the point. Because they failed to show what is Paramarthika Satta. They take it for granted that there is Paramarthik reality, and assuming that there is Paramarthika Satta, they go about talking. They assume the absolute reality and go about talking. But we were asking, in your view, you explained what is waking state, explained what is dream state, explained what is deep sleep state. That's all. In none of these three explanations, you have pointed out, none of these things he has pointed out what is absolute reality, what is the truth. Because if the truth is not there, for comparing, because you see, by taking the truth as a background, as a reference point, you show wrong as a wrong. Okay? How do you show a wrong as a wrong unless you show the reference of what is truth? Or you say, when there is a right scale to measure, you show all other things as wrong by contrasting with this right scale. But you require the right reference point, right scale. Where is that main reference, main point, main truth to refer to? Therefore, Paramarthika Satta, what you call absolute reality, or the ultimate reality, or ultimate reality, absolute reality, final reality, whatever you call. So, Paramartha Satta asiddhi vyakti kriyate. He fails to show what is absolute reality. He only assumes and talks. Okay? Atredam vaktavyam. Now, we explain this point, how he failed, what he explained, and how in his explanation this absolute reality has not come out. It's only assumed, and he assumes and goes on, and he never points out. He assumes and talks, The atredam vaktavyam katham swapna jagaritayor vilakshanattvam purvapaksheenoktam pratikshiptamiti. There was one person, one Gujarati brahmachari with us. We studied for two years, I think, around. I joined late and studied for 2 years Vedanta. Along with us, there were a number of other brahmacharis from all over India and even all over the world. So we all listened, and at the end that Gujarati appears in Rishikesh and he says, you only assume and talk that there is a Paramatma, that there is a truth. You assume and talk. You never point out where the truth is. You only assume and say the world is mithya. Why? Because it is not the truth. But what is the truth? The truth is only assumed. The absolute reality, the Paramarthika Satta, is only assumed but never pointed out. So, just by an assumed idea, by taking an assumed idea, imaginary idea as a reference point, can you prove anything? Can you prove anything just by taking a support of an imaginary idea, a concept? An assumed idea you take and try to prove everything is wrong. It doesn't work, but that's what is happening. In the advocates of Mulavidya, that is they are section of Vedantins. They are Vedantins only, but a certain section. Okay, because see, atredam vaktavyam. This has to be stated here. They have to tell us katham swapna jagaritayor vilakshanattvam purvapakshinottvam pratikshiptam. Now a common man stated, waking is a reality because we experience waking world is a real world, and my body, me, and I am a real person. My individuality is a reality. Reality means unnegatable. Reality means unnegatable. That I am an individual is an invariable, unnegatable. You can never miss it. You can never dismiss it. You can never disprove it. It is there and it will be there. And the world also is there and it will be there. There is no way of escaping it. There is no way of avoiding it. You can't do anything. So, in waking, the world is really there. In dream, world is only imaginary and it's not real. Therefore, you can't compare the waking world with a dream world. Dream is anyway imaginary, but waking is real. How can you get rid of the waking world? You can't just by giving any kind of explanation, logic, concept, or any theory, by no amount of theorizing, no amount of your explanation, you can wish away the waking world as non-existent. By calling it mithya, you can't just escape the waking world. You may call it, but you have to face the same world, you have to live in the same world. How are you going to escape? Okay, so swapna jagaritayor vilakshanatvam. The Purvapakshi, that is a common man, told, waking is real, dream is just an imaginary thing. So there is a difference between two. So Purvapakshina voktam pratikshiptam. How did you refute it? Tell me. You are unable, how did you refute it? To this, naitat prativaktavyam. When we asked this, the advocate of Mulavidya, that means a Mulavidya follower, said, Yata swapnasya pratibhasikatvam jagratescha vyavaharikatvam ishvate asmabhihi. He told, no, we did not reject. The Purvapakshi says, I think those who have heard the first chapter will understand this thing, okay? The newcomers may find little difficult, but you have to patiently listen continuously few classes, then you will come to the topic, because we are gone much deeper, so you have to understand. So naitat prativaktavya. So that Mulavidya, advocate of Mulavidya, says, no, we are not going to refute it. We have not refuted, we are not going to refute. It is true that swapnasya pratibhasikatvam. Swapna is only an apparent world, not a real world. Whereas the waking is a transactional world. Transactional means we are interacting, we are relating, we are handling, we are relating to, interacting it. Transaction means we are interacting. So it's an interactory world, a real and interacting world. Vyavaharika. Vyavahara means Vyavahara. I think it's very difficult to translate. We used, where we find difficult to translate, we use directly Sanskrit word. So it's a Vyavaharika Prapancha. That means we are dealing with it. Vyavaharika Prapancha means dealing with it. We are interacting, we are relating with it. In Pratibhasika, there is only appearance. We are unable to, we can't do any transaction with the dream world, because dream itself is an apparent, like in marriage water. The water in the marriage, you can't use it. Interaction or Vyavahara means using it. Vyavahara means using it. You can't use. You can't interact with mirage water. In the Mrugatrishna, in the mirage, the water that appears is not useful. You can't interact with it. Interact means thinking of it as a water and approaching it, using it, taking it and drinking and taking bath and such things. That is called Vyavahara. Vyavahara means usefulness. You can't use it. So if you can translate, Vyavahara means using, a useful. Vyavahara means usefulness. The waking world is useful. Really, you can relate to it. You can substantially, you can relate to it really, and you can use it. Okay, but whereas the dream world, you can't use it. It is only appearance, like a picture in a painting. A fruit in a painting appears as a fruit, but you can't touch it nor can eat it. Okay, neither you can't eat it. That means you can't use it as a fruit. You can see it as a fruit, like a film. In the film screen, you can see the pictures, you can see the events, but you can't use them, because they have no existence. They only appear but have no existence. That means they have no utility, usefulness. Okay, Vyavaharikatvam ishyate asmavihi. And he says, no, we don't refute the difference between waking world and the dream world, which the common man proposed, common man held. Common man holds that waking world is real, that we interact and use it. Whereas the dream world, neither we can interact them nor we can use them. They are only just appearance. Appear to be there but has no substantiality. But here the waking world is substantial. We can interact with them, use them, and we can affect it and get affected by it. Interaction means we affect it and get affected by it. This is called Vyavahara. Vyavahara means, because the technical world, before we use, once you understand its idea behind it, then using becomes easy. You affect it. Affect means you bring about any change, or you get affected by it. This is called interacting. Waking world is real because we are interacting with it. Whereas the dream world, you can't interact, you can't use it, because it's not available for holding, using, and or whatever. Neither you can use it nor you can destroy it, because it doesn't exist. Like a things in a painting, they have no existence. Or things in a film. Things in a film are only apparent. You can't use them. If there is a fruit, you can't eat it. If there is water, you can't drink. If there is a fire, that doesn't burn you. If there is a fire in a picture, you go and touch it, does it burn you? That means it can't affect you. Okay, you try to put out that fire by pouring water over the painting. You can't put out, because neither it is affected by your water you throw on it, nor the fire can burn you. That means it is not useful. It doesn't affect you. The effectiveness it doesn't have. That means it is only an apparent. What appears alone but not useful, cannot be interacted, cannot be used, is called Pratibhasika Satta. Pratibhasika, only apparent. What can be used is called an interactive validity. It has got an interactive validity. It affects us, and you can bring about a change in it. You can affect it and it affects us. So it is an interactive. interrelative. It is an interactive validity, and another is only apparent validity, doesn't have existence, appearance alone. Now, there is a difference between waking world and the dream world. Waking world has interactive reality. Reality means substantiality. And dream world has only appearance as its existence. Its existence, its reality comes only up to appearance. Its existence is limited to appearance alone. Like a thing in a painting, a fruit in a painting, a tree in a painting, a water in a painting has an existence only up to appearing as appearing as such, but can't be used. When you want to use it, when you want to affect it, it can't affect it. Okay, just appearance alone. Its existence is limited to appearance alone, called pratibhasika. Pratibhasa means appearance. Pratibhasa in Sanskrit means appearance. So it has got a pratibhasic reality. Reality means existence. Its existence is limited to appearance alone. Then the Vyavaharik means interactive reality. Its existence is little more than appearance. It not only appears, but it affects you. You can affect it, and it affects you. You can use it, and you can bring a change on it. You can influence it, and it influences you. Okay? This is called mutual interacting. Mutual interactive existence. Its existence is available for interaction. So, Vyavaharika Satta means, it's a technical word of Vedanta. Vyavaharika Satta means interactive existence. Okay, he says waking has got an interactive reality, interactive capacity, whereas the dream is only appears. You can't use them. You can't use them. They're just useless, but only appears. But here you can use them. Okay, therefore, Jagrutescha Vyavaharikatvam ishyate asmabhihi. We also accept it. Ato Vailakshanyepi, in spite of this difference, between waking and the dream world, waking has got a greater reality. What is the greater? Dream has got lesser reality. Lesser reality, what is less? Its reality, its existence is limited to appearance. Waking reality goes little more than appearance. It is useful, it is available for interaction. Okay? It's available for interaction. Therefore, in spite of this difference between waking existence and dream existence, na paramarthikatvam abhipayate. In spite of this difference, still there is very commonness in both. None of them are absolutely real. Okay? It's only an interactive existence, interactive reality, but no absolute reality, total reality. It's not a complete reality. What is complete reality? That we don't ask us. Tayorna, it will come later, okay? Tayorna paramarthikatvam abhipayate. Yet, in spite of this difference, we don't accept any of them. Neither waking nor dream is really real. Totally real, completely real, absolutely real, or really real. These are the way of talking. Paramarthika satta means really real. Okay, iti chet na. See, Mulavidya, that means a section of Vedantins. They have their own way of presenting the truth. They say waking is real for interactive purpose, yet it is not the really real. It is not a paramarthika satta. This is what we told. Because now Siddhanti answers, coming to the third person Siddhanti. See, you have to reply to common man. Common man told that waking is real and the dream is unreal, and there is no way of getting rid of reality, waking reality. There is no way of getting rid of the waking reality. But as long as the waking world is real, your individuality is real, and you are facing the world is real. When you are, then that means you are bound by the reality, and you are an individual who is a part of the waking world. And you can't be free from your individuality, and the samsara is inevitable. Okay? You are subject to birth and death and pain and pleasure and all. As long as there is an interaction, you interact with the world influences you. You are subject to pain, pleasure, heat and cold and all sufferings. All sufferings, because the world keeps on affecting you. As long as the world is affecting you, you can't be free from samsara. You are a samsari, you are subject to birth and death and pain, pleasure, suffering and all that. So how do you solve it? He says, though waking is unlike dream, waking is not simply apparent. If waking world was simple apparent, you could easily say, oh, you are unaffected. See, for example, in the film, you are watching a film in front of a TV or the cell phone. You see some events taking place. And are you affected by the events? Unless you voluntarily identify with them. That's a different issue. Are you affected by the events there? Neither the nature nor the society, because you are not related to them. Why you are not related to them? Because you can't interact. You can't interact. That means you can't affect them. You can't affect the people and the nature, the world within the film. You can't influence it, nor it influences you. You can only be outside the world and watch it. Okay? You are only outside the world, unrelated to it, unaffected by it, untouched by it. If it is only simply apparent, it is easy to teach you that the world doesn't influence. A person who is watching the film cries. If somebody is suffering there, he cries. If somebody is happy, he is also happy. I went to one hospital, just one event. I think I had some problem. There was a medical technician. They were helping me do something, rectify it. And that medical technician says, she was a girl, and she says she was watching watching the cricket when everybody at home was sleeping. And when they I think hit to sixer or something, she jumped from the chair, from the sofa, and screamed that something like that. She screamed loudly. Then something happened, as if something happened. All the family members, mother and father, they all got up and came running. Something happened. And they shouted at, what happened to you? Why did you scream? And we all got up. Our sleep was disturbed. That means you are affected by it. If a person, by watching the film, if he is affected by it, you can teach them clearly that it is only apparent world, therefore you are free from the world. It is easy to teach the person. It is easy to teach the person and help him to discover the fact that you are not affected by the dream world. You are not affected by the film world. Film means the film. World means the film. The filmy events you are watching on the screen, you are not affected by them. You are unless you psychologically identify with them, you are not affected. See that you are not identified with it. You are free. It is only your mind you are allowing to affect you. Otherwise, you are free. It is easy to teach him. But is it so easy to show that you are not involved in the waking world? Is it so easy to teach that? See, it is easy to teach you that you are not involved with the world and the events watched in the film. Oh, you are not affected by them. Is it easy to teach a person that you are not affected by the waking world? Impossible. You can't teach. Why? Because the world is there. It is affecting you and you are interacting with it. When you are part of the waking world, you are interacting with the waking world, you are affected by them and you affect them. Then how can I teach you that you are untouched by it, you are uninvolved in them? Impossible. Because the world has got an interactive validity, interactive effect. Effectiveness it has got. And Siddhanti says that, yes, we can teach you that it is a mithya, therefore it is not real. And he says, we can teach you that it is not real, therefore you are free. Real? You are not really real. The world is not real. Waking world is, though it has got interactive reality, it is not really real. It is not a paramarthika satta. Now Siddhanti answering. You think this answer is convincing, this answer is final. But we are asking you, it is not absolutely real, really real, you told. What is real, absolutely real? Tell us. You tell us what is real. You have not defined, you have not shown what is real. When you have not shown, you have not seen anything in your life what is really real. How can you say waking is not really real? Waking is not paramarthik reality. It is only a statement without showing a fact. It is only a theoretical statement. You say waking world is not absolutely real. Therefore, by understanding this, you can become free from samsara. How? Because waking world has got an interactive reality. It doesn't have absolute reality. But what is absolute reality? You tell first. Then I can understand whether this waking world is absolutely real the way you defined. You tell us what is absolute reality. What is paramartha? Because you have not defined what is absolute reality. Ayameva paramartha iti niruchyahi jagradadyavasthanam tad vaidharmyam shaknyam parignatum. Unless you show what is the reality. See, this is most important. Unless you show what is really real, what is absolutely real, what is paramarthika satyam. Ayameva paramartha iti niruchyahi jagradadyavasthanam tad vaidharmyam shaknyam parignatum. That means you require the real standard. If you have a real one, by comparing it, we should say this is a fake and this is real. This is real and the other one is false. To be able to say that the waking world is not reality, tell us what is reality. Define us. Ayameva hi paramartha iti niruchya. Because you have no definition in your teaching. According to you, waking there is a world, interactive world. In dream there is an apparent world. In deep sleep also there is a world, it is only in the form of seed. There is a jiva, there is a world, everything is there, but it is there in the form of a seed. In a very compact, compressed form. Seed form means all that is a compressed form. But you are not free from the world. You are not free from the world, neither in waking, nor in dream, nor in deep sleep. Because the world is there in all the three periods of time, in all the three states. So you have not shown what is that absolute reality, where you are totally free from the world. Therefore, ayameva paramartha. This is paramartha you are unable to show. You fail to show. Niruchyahi jagrada devastha. If you can show, I can take that as a reference point and say that this waking world is unlike that reality. Waking world is unlike. Jagrada devasthanam tad vaidharmyam shakyam parignatam. You can show that the waking world, dream world is unlike that paramarthika satta. What is that? Show me the reference point. In contrast with it, you can show that this waking is not real. Dream is not real. Tell me. Jagrada devasthanam tad vaidharmyam shakyam parignatum. You have no. Okay. Nachatan nirvachanamasti bhavatam, but you have not pointed out, you have not defined what is paramarthika satta so far. In your prakriya, in your teaching, there is no definition of paramarthika satta. Okay. This is the first paragraph. That is the 16th passage. Now let us proceed to the 17th passage. Okay. We can't complete it, but I'll just say 2 or 3. Oh, it is only 2 sentences alone. Let us try to complete it. Samsarasya avidyakatva abhyupagamena aparamarthikatvam nischitya parihare samparasparashrayaha athasyat. Now, that Vedantin, Mulavidya Vedanti. Mulavidya Vedanti says, Samsarasya anadya vidya krutatvat. Now he is trying to explain. This samsara, this waking world, is due to beginningless ignorance. Beginningless avidya. Anadi avidya has produced this waking world. Tasyascha vidyaya prahana sambhavat. See, he is explaining, he is giving an explanation, a theory, to show that waking world is unreal. He is giving a theory, an explanation. In the light of this explanation, you are supposed to accept that waking world is unreal. See, if when waking world is proven to be unreal, then you become free from samsara. Okay. Samsarasya anadya vidya krutatvat. See his explanation. This waking world which you are interacting, and you are subjected to this waking world, you are undergoing. This waking world is anadya vidya kruta. See his explanation. It is only theoretical explanation. It is produced by anadi avidya, beginningless ignorance. And by the dawn of knowledge, it can be destroyed. By the dawn of knowledge, it can be destroyed. Therefore, samsara mithyatva avagame. Since it can be destroyed by knowledge, therefore it is mithya. Okay? It is appearing, no doubt, but it will be destroyed on the dawn of knowledge. On the rise of knowledge, it will be destroyed. Therefore, samsara becomes mithya. Okay? Asamsara vimokshat pratiyamanam jagat. Therefore, this I think we will discuss more in the next class. Asamsarat vimokshat pratiyamanam jagat. The jagat, that is the waking world that is appearing, that you are able to interact with, is only interactable. You can interact with it. It is available for interaction only until you negate it by knowledge. Okay? Ityeva paryavasyati. Until you negate it knowledge, alone, it will be useful for interaction. Otherwise, it has no reality. Swapna, okay? So the waking world is no doubt interactable. It affects you and you are affected by it, no doubt. But it can be negated by knowledge. So until it is negated by knowledge, it is interactable. But once negated by, since it is negated by knowledge, it is false. Now we have proven it to be false. How? Because it is negatable by knowledge. How can you say it is? See his explanation. We have proven waking world to be false. Therefore, you are no samsara. You are free from samsara because waking world is negatable by knowledge. Waking world is mithya, is false. How do you say false? Because it is negatable by knowledge. How do you negate it by knowledge? Because it is born of ignorance. All the three are assumptions. That it is born of ignorance is one assumption. Therefore, it is negatable by knowledge is another assumption. And the third point of assumption is therefore it is false because it is negatable. But it continues to exist. It affects you until the dawn of knowledge, it affects you. Otherwise, once the dawn of knowledge, it will go away. Therefore, waking world is not real. It is only a false appearance. It is not real. So these three ideas put together make his theory. He says this theory is enough to prove that waking world is unreal. Therefore, your samsara is not real. You are free from samsara. We can liberate you. Vedanta can liberate you by teaching this. Okay? See, by putting a theory, he shows that waking world is unreal, therefore you are free from samsara. Common man says that I am stuck with the world. There is no way I don't find in my experience a freedom from the world. I am dual and I am living in duality. I am continuously bound by the waking world, continuously bound by the world. There is no way that I can be ever free. I can ever be free. freedom is impossible. Freedom from the world is impossible. Who told? Common man. This was the common man's objection. Then the Vedantin, Mulavidya Vedantin replied that since it is, he replied through a theory. And he gave a theory that world is false. It is false, therefore you are free from samsara. Why it is false? Because it is born of ignorance and negatable by knowledge. Okay? Therefore, but world is appearing, yeah, it appears until the dawn of knowledge, therefore it is not real. Now you understood. You understood that the world is mithya. Therefore you are free from samsara. Swapnashrayastu prapanchaha pratidinam badyate ityetavan vishesho abhyupagamyate eva asmavihi tato na virodaha. But whereas the dream world is only an apparent world, it gets negated every day. Waking world doesn't get negated every day. It gets negated only with Brahmajnanam, only with the knowledge of Brahman. Only with the knowledge of Brahman, waking world gets negated, whereas the dream world gets negated every day. Every day we see them. Iti. Now, therefore, there is no contradiction with our teaching. Na samsarasya avidya, na. The real Vedantin. Real Vedantin replies, your explanation is only theoretical. A simple theory, that too full of contradiction. It convinces nobody. Okay? It convinces nobody. How? You say samsarasya avidya krutatva siddhau vidya vinashatva siddhihi. If the world or samsara is born of ignorance, then it can be negated by knowledge. Since it is negatable by knowledge, therefore it is born of ignorance. Therefore it is due to ignorance. This you are putting two theories. One theory depends upon another theory. One concept depends on another concept. Both are mutually dependent. With this, you have not proven anything. Okay? Samsarasya avidya krutatva siddhau vidya vinashatva siddhihi. If samsara is proven to be due to ignorance, then you can say it goes away by knowledge. Or tat siddhaveva cha avidya. Then if it is negatable by knowledge, then only if you prove that it is negatable by knowledge, then automatical conclusion is that it is due to ignorance. Now both points, that it is due to ignorance, therefore it goes away by knowledge, both are assumptions. One assumption depends upon other. And when you say it goes by knowledge, therefore it is due to ignorance. Since it is due to ignorance, it goes by knowledge. Both you are assuming one and drawing the conclusion of another. So it's a mutual dependency. With this, nothing is proven. Iti siddhihi siddhyoha paraspara mukha nirikshana prasakte. Paraspara mukha nirikshana, mutually dependent. None of them is proven. So in this point, I don't know whether you have studied. Those who have studied Mulavidya Prakriya, they can understand better. Okay? We have told this, but I shall keep telling. They say, waking, I think if I start now, it will be a big topic. I'll just touch a little and discuss in the next class. Okay? The world is mithya. According to them, mithya means indefinable. It can be defined neither as real nor as unreal. It is real in a way because it is visible to you. You can interact with it. It is affecting you. But it is not real because it goes away by knowledge. Therefore, it is mithya. Since it is mithya, it goes by knowledge. First thing is you assume that it is a mithya because it goes by knowledge, and it goes by knowledge because it is assumed to be mithya. All assumptions alone. Ultimately, you have not proven what is absolute reality and how this samsara goes away. how this samsara is false, you have not proven. And what is the real reality also, you have not shown, you have not defined it. So all this is only a theory, doesn't help anything at all. Okay. Now with this, we enter into the topic. Okay. We will discuss in the next class. Have a patience, because as you touch one point, the time is up. We should have a regularly everyday class, then only it can be discussed. But anyway, it's not possible. So weekly two classes alone we have. Okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.